Hey everyone, it's Josh. I wanted to take a few minutes just to make this video, give you guys some updates on everything that's been happening with the project that I've been working on. As many of you know, I've been working on creating a family sitcom show for a little while now. The name of the show, which actually many of you don't know, is going to be called Save Point. The show's about a video game developer who was a devout atheist his whole life until recently and has now become a Christian. So, like I said, just wanted to give you guys some quick updates. We are in full swing on pre-production right now. We have finished the script for the pilot episode a few weeks back, and so we're now, like I said, in pre-production for the pilot. So let me give you guys some updates on that. But first of all, I wanted to share with you guys a story that I came across this past week that I thought was really interesting and kind of relates to what we're doing here. So this is a story from the author Neil Gaiman, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with. And he's talking about the concept of imposter syndrome, which, if you're not familiar with, is this kind of idea that you're not as competent or as good as others around you think that you are. So he's talking about that, and I'll just read it. He says, some years ago, I was lucky enough to be invited to a gathering of great and good people, artists and scientists, writers and discoverers of things. And I felt that at any moment they would realize that I didn't qualify to be there among these people who had really done things. On my second or third night there, I was standing at the back of the hall while musical entertainment happened, and I started talking to a very nice, polite, elderly gentleman about several things, including our shared first names. And then he pointed to the hall of people and said words to the effect of, I just look at all these people and I think, what the heck am I doing here? They've made amazing things. I just went where I was sent. And I said, yes, but you were the first man on the moon. I think that counts for something. So like I said, it's just kind of a funny story about imposter syndrome. But, you know, as I read this story, kind of something struck me about it. You know, Neil Armstrong, the first man on the moon, said about what he did that I just went where I was sent. And I just, you know, I was thinking about that. You know, I think when we say to God, here I am, send me, and then we actually go, you know, where we are sent, you know, so I think we get to really experience God do some amazing things. So that's really what I'm trying to do with this show, you know, is to just basically go where I think God is sending me, and then, you know, let him do whatever he wants to with it from there. So that's a little bit of my heart around this show, and just, you know, wanted to share that with you guys to give you guys a little bit more idea what we're trying to do here. So with that said, let me give you guys some updates, everything that we've been up to lately. First of all, we officially have an actual production company now, which is called Bezalel Films, which is a reference to Bezalel in Exodus, who was sort of the chief architect that helped build the tabernacle, and really the first person, I believe, in the Bible that is actually said to be filled with the Holy Spirit. And it was for the purpose of doing artistic things. So we kind of thought that was really cool. So that's what we went with for the production company, Bezalel Films. So that gives us sort of the company to kind of do a lot of the stuff that we need to do. We do technically have a website up, but it's still very much a work in progress. The contact form doesn't work yet. So you know, stay tuned for that. We'll also be setting up a Facebook page and an Instagram account and all that, so that, you know, you guys can, you know, follow and see updates there, in addition to the email list. So that's been done. We're working on contracts. We have lots of different contracts and agreements that we need for the writers, the actors, the crew, locations, and so on and so on. The biggest thing that we're working on right now is casting. So I put out about 3 weeks ago, I put out some casting notices on a few Facebook pages and a couple other websites. Some of them more Christian faith-based specifically, and some more general to anybody. And quite honestly, we've been pretty overwhelmed with the response that we've gotten so far. Probably at least 500 submissions for casting. So pretty exciting, pretty awesome, but also a lot of work that we have to do to go through all of that right now. So we're hoping to have auditions, the callback auditions in about 3 weeks from now. So we're working on getting notices out to those submissions to the people who we'd like to have come back in and read a little bit more for us, and then we can get to actually picking our cast. So very exciting stuff right there. Locations, we have our 2 main locations all but locked down right now, and kind of the final just stuff there. Primarily waiting for essentially the contracts from the lawyer. So some of the other locations were a little varying stages of getting there. I'm in talking with the city of Hutto and the Hutto School District about using one of the schools for a scene, and a park that has a football field for another scene. So that's something that we're working on right now. Definitely something that you guys could be praying for, that we get all that done smoothly and favorably in plenty of time for production, which, by the way, production, we're hoping to shoot it over 3 weekends in August. Hopefully, assuming we can get everything done in that. And speaking of prayer, that actually one of the biggest things that's kind of potentially out there as far as us being able to start production in that time, I could really use some prayer from you guys, is with the funding. Many of you know that I'm providing most of the funding for the pilot episode through the inheritance that I'm receiving from my dad, who passed away last year. But the thing is I still haven't actually received that money yet. Long story short, my dad's estate has been rather complicated and drawn out process of getting that all taken care of. So it's still not here. We really kind of expected and hoped that we would have that money in place by now, and we don't. There's a good chance that it could be within the next couple of days, actually. We really should be right towards the end of that. But we're getting to the point where that's potentially starting to affect our production schedule and everything, because we've got production insurance that we've got to get. We've got permit fees and that stuff for shooting. Rental gear that we need to reserve, and so on and so on. Props and set dressings. So quite a few things, and all of these are things that need to be done pretty well in advance of actually shooting, so we can make sure that we have everything in place, and can set the final dates for shooting. So if you guys would please be praying for that gets done, within the next few days, preferably. Beyond that, one last thing I did want to kind of mention, we'll be sending out more information about this in the near future. But one thing actually might be a potential opportunity for some of you guys to help if you are in the local Austin area. Once we actually are in production, is typically when you produce a film or a TV show, the production company typically provides meals for the cast and crew. But as you can imagine, that can really raise the expenses quite a bit, and just quite honestly, we don't have the budget for that. So one kind of what we'd like to try and do instead, and give some of you guys an opportunity to help out, is actually ask for you guys who are local to actually prepare and serve meals to the cast and the crew on set while we're actually filming. So plus it gives you the opportunity to come be on set for a little bit and get to hang out and check that out. So like I said, we'll be sending out a specific email about that to some of you guys in the future, in the next few weeks. But just something I wanted to throw out there and let you know, so you can be thinking about it and praying about whether or not that's something that you guys might be interested in helping out with. We'll, of course, for some of those meals will be quite large, so we'll make sure and group people together so that we have nobody's having to cook for 50 people alone. So don't worry about that. But something to think about. And hopefully, give you guys a chance to be on set and really help out the production a whole lot. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Again, just there's a lot of things going on. Once we've got the funding in place, we can start actually doing a lot of things like getting the gear reserved and start shopping for all the props and dressings and stuff that we got to do. I just want to say again, thank you so much for all your support, for your prayers, all your enthusiasm and excitement for this project, which really kind of helps me a lot, especially when kind of bogged down in all the details. So just wanted to say again, I cannot thank you guys enough for all your support, and really excited to get this out to you. So thanks a lot.